The Xbox Series X and S consoles are getting a pretty massive boost in performance that will be felt on multiple games. Let's get into what the lead developer on the console has to say, and let's also dive into what this means for games coming to the console, because this is pretty awesome for gamers, but most of all, for developers. Let's get into it. Perfect. Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by and watching the content. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button if you enjoyed the video. The support is greatly appreciated. But enough of that, let's get into this interview with Jason Ronald, where he talks about the pretty big boost performance that's going to be implemented in certain games for the Xbox Series X and S consoles. Now, this interview, I have to mention, is coming from my very good friend Colt Eastwood, where he had a great interview with Jason Ronald and really does shine a lot of light on the hardware and software aspects of the console. It's an awesome video, and I'll leave a link in the description, so make sure to check that out. And make sure to subscribe to Colt Eastwood and give him support. He's an awesome content creator and a good friend of mine. But I wanted to break down one of the most impressive features talked about during that interview, which is the FPS boost that games get on the next generation consoles. Now, we've talked about Jason Ronald before, where he mentions there's going to be major features coming to the console in the coming weeks and months, and even into the next year or so. All of these upgrades and boosts will be coming to the console free of charge, it would seem. But best of all, these impressive features are going to enhance gamers' experience on games they might not have played or are about to play. Here's what the article starts off by saying. The Xbox Series X and Series S launched with some pretty impressive system-level backward compatibility enhancements, with certain legacy games benefiting from natively enhanced resolutions or even the addition of HDR. Recently, Microsoft added another enhancement with FPS Boost, which, as its name suggests, boosts the frame rate of games on a system level with a first batch of 5 games that currently support the feature. So here are the games that will benefit from these performance boosts. I gotta say, I know it's only 5 games, but this is a great start to see where Xbox could take this new feature. Currently, Far Cry 4, Watch Dogs 2, UFC 4, Sniper Elite 4, and new Super Lucky's Tale are the games that support FPS Boost, and Microsoft have said that they will be adding the feature to more games going forward. Now, I've played Far Cry 4 and loved every single minute of it. As for Watch Dogs 2, Sniper Elite 4, and Super Lucky's Tale, I really haven't played those. So the FPS boost will be a massive reason for me to dig right back into my backlog and grab those games. But what gets me the most is that these FPS boosts are something that Xbox takes a lot of pride in. If you remember, Xbox and Microsoft were the first company last generation to really push back compat on their systems. The announcement at E3 was massive, and it's still the most requested feature from gamers when a new system comes out. And from what Xbox has done with back compat games, it's going to be the standard set from now on. No longer will we have to leave our games behind for no other reason other than for a company to double dip on a game they want to charge gamers for again. Yet having back compat isn't the only thing that Xbox is doing. Instead, they've stepped it up big time with this generation's features. We already know about the natively enhanced resolutions to the games that are for free, not to mention the addition of auto HDR features that actually is pretty insane. I've been lucky enough to play a few games that have the HDR treatment attached to them, and I have to say, it really enhances the experience of a game you've played before. So we know that Xbox doesn't simply want your old games to work on the new systems. No, they want it to thrive on the new systems and be worth going back and revisiting. And this FPS boost is just one of those features that makes it worth getting an Xbox Series X for. Not only will games we buy in the future have great FPS and visuals, but games we already own are being enhanced in ways that I never saw coming. And best of all, this doesn't just help gamers feel like their purchase is respected, but it also helps developers of these games because it doesn't require any additional work on their end, which the article points out here. Speaking recently in an interview with Colt Eastwood, which can be viewed below, Xbox's Director of Program Management, Jason Ronald, explained that FPS Boost doesn't require any extra development work from the developers of the games in question themselves, and that in some cases, developers actually have more flexibility over whether they want to add enhancements to older titles. We're doing this all with no extra development work by the developer themselves, so in some cases, the developer actually has more flexibility and more control if they choose to go back and update the title, or they have plans for the franchise. So it's really a collaboration between us and the publisher, Ronald said. Now, this is something that's truly just awesome, and to be honest, it's something we've seen Xbox do again and again. they tend to work hand in hand with publishers and developers from all over the gaming world. Not only with helping them understand the tech inside the next generation consoles, but they're providing them services that will help them take better care of their franchises. Because what Ronald says right here is true. They're able to give these games a boost in performance without any help from the developers. And if you're a publisher or developer, that has to be music to your ears because it can give longevity to a franchise you might want to continue or bring out a new game for, which is something that Ronald mentions in that quote. He says that it's a collaboration between Xbox and the developers of the game because it does give them more flexibility and more control of their games because they can take the upgrade to their game and let it attract a little more attention. And let's say they have a sequel in development and they want to attract gamers to that game. Well, why not advertise that game prior to the new one and have the FPS boost on the Series X consoles, and you can play through that one before the new one comes out. Oh, and this is all done at no extra cost to the developers or the studios working on those games. Instead, it's a perk for being part of the Xbox ecosystem, which has a whole other team working on making every single game on the platform run at its best. And to get a little sidetracked for a second, I just like to say Xbox is going back in time and making sure that a lot of the games that ran better on the PS4 console are starting to run better on the Xbox console. I think the way the generation started with the Xbox One put a very bad taste in their mouth. So now they're trying to cover every single angle for a game when it's on their platform. Not only when the game releases, but when the game is even a couple of years older, they still want it to run better on the Xbox Series X with all of these enhancements. And this is all on Xbox to do it, not the third-party developers or the publishers, but instead on Xbox themselves. So I find it great that they're able to do that, even though I know not all of the games we have will get this treatment, which is something Ronald says here. At the same time, Ronald explained that owing to how FPS Boost works, or internal updates that developers might have planned for their games on their own, not every game would be able to benefit from the feature. We listen to the community, we hear the passion from the community, we know what games the community would like to see, Ronald said. In some cases, due to the way the technique was developed, we're not going to be able to enable all of these titles. In other cases, the developer or publisher has plans for the franchise and they'll release their own updates. This is something I fully understand because sometimes developers actually want to invest in the enhancements of their games. I mean, we're seeing it from Xbox first party with Gears 5, Forza Horizon 4, and of course Sea of Thieves. But we're also seeing it from third-party publishers and developers like Ubisoft who have just enhanced The Division 2, or like Bungie who have enhanced Destiny 2 and make it run beautifully on the Xbox Series X console. And as you can see, these types of features aren't just gimmicks to show that Xbox has them and the competition doesn't. It's something that developers and gamers actually want. They want their games to grow with them, not fall to the wayside. And it's Xbox really pushing this narrative to the next level and have pushed the competition around the gaming market to do the same thing. We're seeing FPS enhancements on first-party Sony games like God of War and a lot of other ones. And I have a feeling this is happening because the competition is doing this. And like I've said multiple times on this channel, competition is great for us, the gamers. Because we get to see Xbox bring great features like this to us at no extra cost. We get to replay some of our favorite games again with enhancements we didn't have before, not to mention it makes games we love last much longer, especially the multiplayer games that have a community and constant content dropping on them. So yeah, this FPS boost and all the features tied to back compat are pretty awesome to see from Xbox. And I have a feeling these aren't the only ones that will come up. Over the next couple months, we'll start to see developers get more out of the system and we'll see Xbox get more out of the next generation feature sets that they have planned. Either way, this is going to be a pretty wild generation, and I hope we get even more games to get these enhancements and these performance boosts, because why not go back and play some of the games we love, because last generation did have some of the best games I've seen. God of War getting an FPS boost makes me want to go back and play it. Other games like Gears 5 make me want to replay it because of that FPS boost. Not to mention Forza Horizon 4, which looks insane on the Xbox Series X. All these games and all these developers, I'm glad that Xbox is supporting them, and I'm glad that they're bringing out all these enhancements onto the next generation console. But enough of what I think about all this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Are you using back compat on the Series X? What games do you want to see get these performance boosts? What other features do you want to see from the Series X console? Will Sony do this for third-party developers and publishers? Is this going to be the standard on consoles from now on? Does this help Xbox build relationships with other studios and publishers? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Right now, I am playing the Medium. I posted this on Twitter. I'm actually really enjoying the game. I know it didn't get that great of reviews, but to be honest, I'm really enjoying it. I think the story actually grabbed me. It starts off a little slow, I would admit, but as you keep going, the game progresses and it starts becoming a lot more interesting. The story really grabs me, the game looks insane, and you can see when they split the worlds that the SSD is crucial and why they needed this on the Series X. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's not my type of game, but to be honest, it grabbed me, so hey, maybe it'll be your type of game if you give it a chance. I recommend you check it out. It's on Game Pass and I'm really enjoying it. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something from Game Pass? Are you playing something on your Xbox, your PS5, or your PC? Or are you just waiting for something to come out? Let me know down below because I want to talk about games and I love hearing what everyone's playing. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.